Hello, everybody. As you can tell, as you might be able to tell, I am pretty excited right now. So a lot of interesting stuff going on the account that I'm very excited about. So just kind of wanted to give you guys a recap and let you know. So I did pull the trigger finally on Coffin Smasher. I leveled him up to 6 stars. I used my keg on him to get him to an instant 60, and then I fully ascended him. I because we're in the middle of a clan v clan, I used every single book I had for rares on him to get him as maxed out as possible. Unfortunately, I didn't get any to land on the HP burn effect, which is truthfully quite unfortunate. Interestingly enough, I have plenty. Maybe I'm advancing too quickly because I do have plenty of epic books, and no rare books. But the great thing about rares is I'm gonna get more Coffin Smashers, as the game goes on because he does come from Ancient Shards. So I'll be able to feed the extras into Coffin Smasher, as the game progresses. I'm not going to use any epic books on him, and this is just a good piece of advice. It's very tempting, especially when you don't have an epic that you want to spend books on, but ultimately you are better off saving those epic books for when you do get a good epic. Um, but I wanted to show you guys the impact that he has had. So it's going to be a little deceptive. This morning when I logged on, I ran brutal right away with my first key before I leveled up the Coffin Smasher. And so that's why you see 3 keys here. But my third key, I don't remember what my second key did because I did it before I went to work today, but my third key did 12 million damage. So that would be a 1 key on hard, and a 2 key on brutal, an easy 2 key on brutal. Now I'm curious what I would do on Nightmare. I'm genuinely curious what kind of damage output I would get on Nightmare from my current build. Now let's talk a little bit about why Coffin Smasher is so powerful. I've gone over his kit a few times, but the main value, and I don't even have a banner on him because I just don't have a banner to give him, which is unfortunate. But the main reason that I'm getting value out of him, the HP burn isn't landing as much as I would like right now, mostly because it's unbooked. Once it's booked, it'll be pretty consistent. But I'm getting a ton of damage out of him just from Giant Slayer procs, some from the HP burn. But he's also in Relentless, so he's getting a lot of turns. And he's pretty stacked. I mean, he's got 50k health, which, that's not a lot for endgame. But when you consider that he doesn't even have a banner and he's in like a 4-star amulet and mostly 5-star gear, it's pretty impressive. And he's not even, I haven't even taken the time to, um, what's it called? Enchant his items yet. So, I'm really happy with where he's at. I do have him in crit rate gauntlets, which I'm very happy with as well. We did get some HP substat rolls on that. So again, or not roll, well, not bonus rolls, but we did get HP percent on this one, which is very nice. So there's some more HP there. So I'm really happy with where his stat line is at. Um, he also gets quite a bit of accuracy just because because he's Magic Affinity, and Magic Affinity is where I've been putting all my accuracy points into. So that's really satisfying to get that extra amount of accuracy out of him. Um, so it was really satisfying to see. Now I'm actually really interested to see what we're gonna do on hard. Now because I've already 1-keyed hard at some point, it's gonna instant run this, and we'll get to see what kind of damage they do without having to sit through a whole battle. So this is the team I'm running. We've got Deacon in the lead for the speed. Um, Coffin Smasher still running. I'm There's some real debate, and I'll probably do some testing on this maybe over the weekend, um, to see if Eris can fill in for Sun Wukong, and if that's actually more damage than Sun Wukong because he is rather inconsistent. His only real damage on Clan Boss is Brimstone. Apothecary is about 1 million. I think it's usually around 900,000. And then obviously Kale is the big piece of the puzzle. So let's see what we do on a hard. 16 million. That's an instant. That's an easy one key hard. So I am going to toot my own horn a little bit here to prove a couple points to people. Okay. There's a lot of debate among the comments about the decisions and the how I've been fast and loose with epics, and making decisions and going routes that most people probably would not go. Um, and I feel pretty vindicated right now to be able to one key hard, two key brutal. We don't. I'm not testing it right now, and let me just double check. I don't think keys are a reward in this. Yeah, there's no extra keys in this tier, unfortunately. So I'm not gonna be able to get any extra keys to kind of test with you guys. But here's what I want to have happen tomorrow, and I will. This will be a part of the video if I can make it happen. I want to one key hard tomorrow, put two keys into brutal. I'm gonna have an extra key. Now, one could argue, well, go put the extra key in normal and get yourself a chest down there. Well, I would rather see how well I do in Nightmare. So we're gonna use my extra key tomorrow, my fourth key, and we're gonna put that in Nightmare, and we're gonna see what kind of damage I can do. If I can do 10 million damage, I have a 4-key Nightmare team. Boom. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've been playing this game for 30 days. Well, perfect timing. Look at that. 36 days right here. 36 days I've been playing the game. I'm almost. I'm not. We will find out tomorrow. I don't want to sit there and, go crazy and be like, I have a 4-key Nightmare team. Because I don't yet. I won't know if I have that until tomorrow. But I'm pretty darn close, and I'm proud of that fact. And if we look at my clan, for example, now I have brought in a huge, like 5 or 6 people have been brought in from this channel that are all free to play players. That where right now I'm just looking through to see kind of where other people are, right? So for example, this Kranzo right here, and again, your viewers, I'm not trying to dog on you guys at all. I'm just trying to have open dialogue about issues that people may be facing when it comes to Clan Boss. So I did in 1 key more than what this individual can do in 2 keys. I'm 2 levels under them. I don't know how long they've been playing, but they also have a ninja, which is an incredibly good champion for Clan Boss. He should be doing a ton of damage in Clan Boss because he's just a great boss killer in general. They also have an Ultimate Death Knight who brings massive, massive shields to their team. Ultimate Death Knight, tuned in the right way, should be keeping this whole squad alive. By the way, if you're watching this, Crans, Ultimate Death Knight needs to be your lead, not Kale. Defense is the best way to mitigate incoming damage from Clan Boss, not health. Yes, you give yourself more percentage of health, but you want to mitigate the damage, not just have a larger health pool. So anytime you can put a defense lead in for Clan Boss, that's very beneficial. A speed lead is also beneficial because you just get more turns. So you can generate stuff faster, and you can achieve some of the high speed requirements for end game builds like unkillables. Again, and please guys understand, I'm not trying to rag on you guys or make fun of you. I'm just trying to point out that the decisions that I have made have benefited me in such a way that I'm able to 1 key or do as much damage in 1 key as several people are doing. This is an all level 60 team. I still have a level 50 in my team. So, obviously I have a deacon. That's a big part of it. I get a lot of speed out of that. I get a lot of, I have a lot of turn meter boosting from both my apothecary and my Deacon Armstrong. So there's definitely conversations to be had, and we could take, if I could ever get more detail as to what builds this they're going with and why they're having lower levels of damage and stuff. We could evaluate and say, well, maybe you need to throw an apothecary in there to get your guys going faster. Maybe you need um so coffin smasher. Oh, we didn't even talk about coffin smasher's passive. um I kind of stopped as soon as I said, oh, he's not fully booked. Let me talk about why Coffin Smasher is helping out so much. So, decreased attack, big version. But Clan Boss does less damage. Boom. HP burn, does a lot of damage. Only once per turn for the Clan Boss because I don't have an activator, but it still does a lot of damage. His passive is where I'm getting the most benefit. Decreases damage enemies inflict with AoE attacks by 5%. I'm gaining 5% damage reduction across my whole team. That's how I read that. I've researched it very, very little, so correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But the way I read that and the way that it's being indicated online is that that's across the board. Um, so that's really, really solid for my progression. And he's an HP based champion, so he just has a really high health pool, and that increases his damage as well. So, and obviously I do have him fully mastered. This is a common thing too, that I've debated this early on in my account. Thus far, I have used gems for every single mastery ascension that I've done. Mastery ascension. Every masteries that I've got on my champions, I have used gems to do so, to max them out. Now the argument is that it's cheaper to do it with energy, but I ask you, what are you going to spend your gems on? Packs? That's a fair argument. You can definitely use your gems in the shop, the gem shop for packs. Um, or silver maybe, but I don't recommend it. There are other ways to get silver if you're smart with your silver. Energy pots is a really good argument for how you would spend your gems. So technically speaking, if you have the time, you could just spend the gems. You could spend, I think, 600 something gems to get full masteries on your champion. So it is cheaper in that sense. But it's a time issue at that point. Now, I'm running another main account. I'm working a full-time job. I'm a father and a husband. I don't have that time to either manually or using multi-battles to spend all my energy in Minotaur. So I'm actually very happy spending gems to get those masteries. Maybe that's a video or on its own about the discussion there. I'd love to get your guys' feedback on that. So, but regardless, I was able to build up my Coffin Smasher and see immediate results. Immediate results. Very, very happy with the overall outcome there. This changes the trajectory of the account a little bit. I am going to continue. So right now, everything hinges on tomorrow. If I'm able to get a 4-key nightmare tomorrow, then my direction of my account shifts, and the next step is going to be like arena and dungeons esque kind of thing. By the way, I saw improvement on dungeons too. I was able to go from stage, I think it was 13, up to stage 16 on Ice Golem, which I'm content with. I'm happy to stay at 16. For Dragon, the same thing. I haven't done Spider any further. I don't think I'll see an increase in Spider out of Golem. Or not Golem. Um, Coffin Smasher. Fire Knight, I should see some more effectiveness in Fire Knight now that I have the multi-hitter A1 of Coffin Smasher. So I don't know where I'd put him in the team. I really want to keep Armiger in the team. This may be one situation where I do take Sun Wukong out because getting the multi-hitter A1 will take that shield down quicker, and if I build my Armiger better, then I can decrease the turn meter and make it so Fire Knight never theoretically could never get a turn again, especially with all the turn meter boosting I have here. So that's an option. Those are conversations for another day when I'm gonna go in and dive into it and get to work. So I we're gonna talk about the event here in a second, but the next steps overall in a general sense of the account are to continue the masteries, or the missions, not masteries, continue the missions, and then consider what my next 60 is gonna be. That brings me to the event going on right now. So the Fusion Summon Pool event, it has the same chances as a 2x legendary 2x sacred shard, but the legendaries that I can pull are extremely good, and some of the rares are pretty good too. Um, if we were to talk about what rares that I would really want out of this, I would say probably Ornn is up there for sure. Because he's a poison activator on his uh, A2 and a poisoner. Plus, he brings poison sensitivity. From a clan boss perspective, he brings everything that I would get from Petrifia, with the big version of poison and some interesting mechanics. He's a great solo champion as well. I don't think I would build him as that yet. Eventually I would, but at the if I were to get him from this event, I would use him in clan boss. I might even use him in place of Kale, actually. Well, no, I think he would definitely be a replacement for Sun Wukong. I think the damage coming, especially because of the activation on the poisons, it's just going to be really, really valuable. Um, Trumbor would be an introductory to ally protection, which would be very, very powerful for me to get further progression in clan boss. I don't know how I would fit him kind of into my current run. I know that I would probably have him replace Apothecary and go at it from the perspective that maybe Sun Wukong, because I'm gaining damage across the whole team by making them live much, much longer with Ally Protect. However, to make him work, I'm going to have to start doing a lot more speed tuning, which is going to take a lot more effort, energy, time, silver. So there's, some interesting thoughts there. Um, Removing one random debuff from all allies before attacking is really good too. Plus, he would bring a weaken, which is going to increase my damage dealt even more. So there's a lot of value coming out of Trumbor. So he's a champion that I would really like. I wouldn't be upset if I got a Philia, because she has good turn meter control and um, destroy max HP, which is valuable for. Actually, I think that's the area that I'm stuck on right. No, it's not. It's shields is where I'm stuck right now. Um, but we do get some turn meter control, and this champion has some really good self buffing and is a really good PvP nuker. I've said before I'm not that interested in a PvP nuker, but I will be here soon. Kale is doing what he can, but um, it could start to fall off here soon. So next, I would consider Mordecai. Mordecai would basically unlock Spider for me with his HP burn, uh, effectively giving me an easy way to kill the boss. Um, as long as I bring some tanky champions that I don't really have right now, but I'm sure I could get, he'll basically lock it down, and the spider will kill itself from the HP burn. He's also going to be valuable in Hydra in the future. He does have turn meter control, so um, decreasing turn meter by 10% and then 15% on an AoE. And so there is a lot of value in general out of a Mordecai. If I didn't pick um, Deacon Armstrong as the epic that I got from the code when I started the game, Mordecai would have been the code that I would go with. Fear Gun is an interesting thought, but I don't know that I really need a bomb champion. She does bring weaken, so there's some value there. But I don't know that the bombs are really gonna do as much as I would want them to do. So interesting, but I don't know that I would go be like as excited about it. I think Ambassador Lethalin is an interesting option as well. I'm not saying that anybody else on this list is not an interesting option. I'm just not as familiar with them, and I haven't done enough research on them. I do know that Nogorio is kind of a sleeper nuker, but I would probably prefer um, Sun Wukong over him. And then the legendaries are all of them are good. Helicath, I've already if I were to get Helicath, I've almost completed a speed or a unkillable team at that point. I would only need one or two more champions to finish that out. Newt would basically win me the game if I'm being like I know that sounds hyperbolic and it is, but the reality is he does insane boss damage, and I mean, this would just unlock. He has turn meter control, so boom, Fire Knight, boom, Spider. He has a big HP based nuke, so that's going to do damage to Spider. That's going to do damage to, um, and it's on a triple hitter. Like he just does. He brings so much to the game. A self counterattack, which I sleep on my main account because I've had a Valkyrie who brings counterattack to the whole team. But this self counterattack buff on an account like mine, when I don't have that, is huge. He's also a defense based champion, so I'd be able to keep him alive relatively easily. Rhodos is amazing in PvP. Probably the legendary that I would want the least, because this is more of a PvP champion or a wave clear champion, less of a boss killer per se. I'm gonna be honest, I don't have him. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. I don't have him, and I haven't done the research into him about how much he does against bosses. That's something that I would do if I were to pull him. Brogni, I know is good. He's destroyed me in arena. And I know that his big broken Hydra team got nerfed, but I still think he would be a great champion for me. Uko would solve my support problem. This would give me revives for my whole team. It would give buff removal and block buffs. Uh, Decrease attack, which I've been talking about wanting for a very long time. And I don't only attempt to steal and a little bit of buff steal, but the revive in particular would be extremely effective for me on a champion that's going to be easier to keep alive than like a rare or an epic reviver. And then Nishak just does a ton of damage. It's bomb based, which you know is has its limits. However, his passive of putting two protected poison debuffs, those or no, it's four protected poison debuffs, I think, because it's for each bomb detonating or being removed. That's a lot of poison damage, and they're protected and can't be removed. And I mean, that's huge damage just in general on the game in an AoE, so that's poison on everybody. So, and not to mention that the bombs can hit hard if you build the champion the right way. So, very interesting champion. One of my favorites. I have him on my main account. He is one of my favorites. He is a he is a cheat code for Bommel, but you have to have the right team to build around him. I would prefer Lady Annabelle as a Bommel cheat code, but he is a faster champion than Lady Annabelle would be for farming purposes. So, but yeah, I'm super excited about this event. Now, what scares me is that certain parts of the event are difficult for me. So the Sand Devil attack, turn attack, I don't think this is one I'm going to be able to do. I ran Sand Devil one time and got 6 points. I did the math to hit 2,000 points with a 6 point. Ain't happening. Not with the limited energy that I get each day. Unless I was to sit here and just manually click it every time I gained enough energy to run that dungeon. And even then, it's tough. If you think about it, if I did it 100 times, it's only 600 points. I need 2,000, so I would need to do that several hundred times. So, Dragon Tournament, I got 16 points just from the 3 extra levels that I think I ran. A little bit harder, but I also gain value as I'm doing it. It's only 20 of the shards, though, or frag crystals, whatever you want to call them. So, I don't know. That's a tough one. I don't know if I can do it this time. I pushed really, really hard to be able to pull one on the last one, and I didn't get anybody good, but this one's a little bit harder, and it's spread out against over more events. So 2 days to run some dragon. I'll probably run dragon overnight and see where I'm at with my energy, because I don't have anybody that I need to level right now for the first time on the account. So, um, and I have a bit of stockpile of food ready to go now as well. So, I think I can afford to take a little bit of a break from leveling and put my energy into dragon. Um, I probably won't even do it overnight. I'll probably just do it tonight and let it run while I'm doing other things. Maybe even do it on my phone would be the smart thing. So, but yeah, that's the where the account is. I am so excited about how effective Coffin Smasher was. It was getting a little dicey for me there. I was getting a little nervous that I might have made a mistake. I might have pulled the trigger on some epics too early. And that still could be an argument, but you really can't argue with the results, right? I mean, in brutal, I'm doing 12 million a key, so that's even more than Killswitch here, who has a newt. Um, man, I need to message Killswitch and tell him to fix this friggin' uh blessing. So, all right. Well, that is the video. I am so excited with how the free to play account is going. To be able to get this close to, and it's a big jump from brutal to nightmare. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I have enough for a 4 key. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to find out. So we're gonna have an extra key tomorrow. We're gonna find out. Tinker with the team a little bit. Let's find that fifth person to put in the team to replace Sun Wukong. Maybe it is Sun Wukong at a level 60, right? Or maybe it's Petrifia. Um, or maybe it's if I pull an epic from the upcoming from this event going on right now. There's a lot of potential on the account right now. So just got to get to grinding and see what I can pull off. Um, how much is it? Is it 60 to pull somebody? Yeah, it's 60. So I would get a third of the way there with Dragon. And I think I'm as high as I can go on Dragon right now with my current builds. I lack the accuracy for my Kale. Stuff's not landing at this point. So, uh, and he even has less accuracy than Coffin Smasher right now. I really need some banners pretty bad. But anyways, I'm going to call that a video. Thank you all for watching. I haven't looked yet today. I'm going to check it on my phone because it'll be quicker and quieter. Um, 196 subscribers. I'm 4 away from 200. Would love to hit 200. So I don't usually ask you guys to subscribe because I know that if you like my content, that's what you're going to do. But I just, figure if I could put that reminder out there and get 4 extra subscribers, that would really make me happy. I mean, that's just plain and simple. And so, yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.